attitudes that make people lose respect for you. What does it take to lose the quiet regard of another human being? Not their affection, not their attention, but something far more elusive: respect. Respect isn't loud. It doesn't announce itself with fanfare or gold-embossed certificates. It's silent, invisible, often assumed, but once lost, it leaves behind an unmistakable void. You feel it in the way someone's eyes stop meeting yours, in the slight delay before they respond to your message, in how they laugh at your joke out of politeness instead of amusement. Respect is the social currency we never see until the account is suddenly overdrawn. So here's the uncomfortable truth. People won't always tell you when they've lost respect for you. There won't be a dramatic confrontation or a clarifying debate. They'll simply withdraw. They'll stop trusting you, stop confiding in you, stop inviting you into conversations, decisions, opportunities, even their hearts. But why? Why do people quietly remove us from the pedestal of their regard? It's not always because of one catastrophic mistake. Often, it's the slow, insidious drip of behavior, a few careless habits, repeated too often, that eats away at the foundation of respect, like rust on steel. This isn't a list of minor social blunders. These are the 5 core attitudes that, if left unchecked, will guarantee a silent erosion of trust and admiration in both your personal and professional life. You may not even realize you're doing them. They wear the mask of personality quirks, but make no mistake, they're corrosive. So ask yourself as you read, have I done this? Do I still do this? And more urgently, am I being silently disrespected without even knowing it? Let's dive into the deep end. No sugarcoating, no polite euphemisms, just the raw truths that, if embraced, can help you regain your dignity, or, if ignored, will quietly exile you from the realm of real influence. 1. Breaking promises. There's something sacred about a promise. It's not just a statement. It's not a polite, "I'll see you then." A promise is a handshake with time itself. It's you bending the future around your word. And when you break it, it breaks something in people too, something that doesn't make the same sound twice when it shatters. Breaking promises isn't always malicious. Sometimes it's laziness. Sometimes it's a chronic case of overpromising and under-delivering. And sometimes it's just forgetfulness masquerading as personality. But to the person on the other end, it all sounds like one thing: you can't be counted on. Think about it. A friend says, "I'll be there." You prepare, maybe even get excited, but they flake. Again and again. At first, you give them grace. Life happens, right? But eventually it shifts. You stop inviting them. You stop believing them. Respect exits the room without needing to slam the door. Even small broken promises pile up like emotional litter. The co-worker who swears they'll finish the report, then forgets. The parent who promises to show up to the game, but doesn't. The partner who says they'll change, but keeps tripping over the same apology. People remember, not always consciously, but somewhere deep, they catalogue the imbalance. The math doesn't lie. When someone's words cost more than their actions can afford, the debt gets paid in lost respect. And yes, things come up, emergencies happen. But if your pattern is full of abandoned commitments and unkept assurances, don't be shocked when people smile at you, but never lean on you. You've taught them not to. And people are exceptional learners of disappointment. Second, lack of accountability. Have you ever met someone who was never at fault? Miraculous, really. A walking perfection of excuses and finger-pointing. The kind of person who, if caught red-handed, would explain how you made their hand red. Lack of accountability is like mold. It grows in the dark corners of the ego, fed by denial and rationalization. It's the refusal to look in the mirror and say, "I messed up. That was me." It's seductive, this attitude. Who wouldn't want to be the eternal victim of other people's incompetence? But here's the problem. People may tolerate your mistakes, but they will never respect your refusal to own them. Picture this. A team leader fails to deliver a project on time, then blames the intern for poor communication. A friend is always late, but somehow it's always the traffic, never them. A partner betrays trust and swears, "You drove me to it." No one respects a ghost who haunts consequences but never touches them. Accountability isn't just about saying, "It was me." It's about taking the hit, standing in the spotlight of your errors, and doing the slow, difficult work of repair. It's a demonstration of strength, not weakness. And ironically, it builds respect faster than perfection ever could. Why? Because when you own your mess, you prove you're someone worth trusting, someone who can be relied on not just in success, but in failure too. That's rare. That's gold. The non-accountable, on the other hand, they become a liability in every room they enter. Colleagues dread being paired with them. Friends avoid confronting them. Partners walk on eggshells. Respect can't breathe in that kind of atmosphere. It suffocates quietly, then disappears. 3. Interrupting. Some people interrupt like it's a reflex, like their mouths are allergic to silence. They don't listen to understand, they listen to reply. Actually, scratch that. They listen to interject. Interrupting isn't just rude, it's disrespect in real time. It's you declaring with every hasty syllable, "What I have to say matters more than what you're saying right now." Sure, in debate or passionate conversations, some interruptions can be natural, even charming. But chronic interruption, it's social vandalism. It tears down the architecture of conversation and replaces it with chaos and ego. Imagine this. You're sharing something vulnerable, maybe even painful. You're carefully choosing your words, and mid-sentence, boom, they cut in. "Yeah, I totally get it. That reminds me of when I..." And just like that, your moment is hijacked. You're not heard, you're performed upon. Eventually you stop sharing, you edit yourself, you retreat into brevity. Why bother opening up if the floor will be yanked out from under your voice? Respect is about space. It's about presence. It's about shutting up long enough to truly hear someone else, to let silence hang without grabbing at it like a drowning man. When you interrupt constantly, you become noise, not dialogue, static, not signal, and nobody respects static. They tolerate it, they turn down the volume, and eventually they switch you off. 4. Disregarding boundaries. Boundaries are the invisible fences that protect our time, energy, emotions, and personal autonomy. Respecting someone's boundaries says, "I see you. I understand that you are your own person." Disregarding them, it says the opposite. "I get to decide where your limits are." It's not always overt. Sometimes it's the co-worker who jokes too intimately, the friend who drops by unannounced again and again, even after you've said you need space, the partner who treats your phone like a public library, the parent who means well but bulldozes over every line you draw. When someone disregards boundaries, they commit the sin of presumption. They assume access where none was granted. And the emotional consequence is deep. You feel small, unseen, invaded, like your no isn't powerful enough to stop a yes from someone else's will. Worse still, many people who cross boundaries don't think they're doing anything wrong. They hide behind phrases like, "I'm just being honest," or "I care too much." But cloaking control in concern doesn't make it less invasive. It just makes it harder to confront. Here's what's often missed. Respecting boundaries isn't about agreeing with them. It's about honoring them anyway. Want to lose someone's respect? Make their discomfort about your convenience. Insist that your way of loving, joking, talking, or engaging is the only way. Make them defend their right to space. And slowly, you'll watch their trust bleed out through the cracks. What replaces it isn't always anger, it's withdrawal. Polite, quiet, chilly distance. Respect gone, replaced by guarded tolerance. 5. Dishonesty. The great killer of kingdoms, friendships, marriages, reputations. Not with explosions, but with whispers. Not with daggers, but with omissions. Dishonesty, the subtle thief that smiles as it steals. You might think a lie has to be huge to matter. An affair, a secret, double life, a forged signature. But no, dishonesty is death by 1,000 cuts. It's the "I'm fine" when you're furious. It's the "I'm 5 minutes away" while still in the shower. It's the gaslighting, the distortions, the convenient versions of the truth. Here's the brutal irony. Most people can forgive the truth, no matter how ugly. But a lie? It haunts, it replays. It causes people to question not just what you said, but everything you've ever said. Trust is fragile. It takes years to build and seconds to lose. And once someone sees you're willing to bend reality when it suits you, they won't just distrust your words, they'll distrust your intentions. And that's where respect dies. There's also a deeper cost. People start hiding parts of themselves from you. They stop being vulnerable. Why would they offer you their truth when you don't offer yours? People aren't stupid. Even when they don't call you out, they know. They read the inconsistencies, the delays, the sideways glances. They may never confront you, but they'll quietly pack away the trust they once gave freely, like closing the vault on an account that's been robbed too many times. Dishonesty is a choice, but so is transparency. And while the truth may make people uncomfortable, it also makes them respect you. Conclusion: respect is the quiet currency of human interaction. It doesn't glitter, it doesn't shout, but it decides everything. It governs how seriously people take your words, how deeply they trust your presence, how much access they give you to their lives, their secrets, their hearts. And like all currency, it can be earned, invested, squandered, or lost entirely. You don't lose respect in dramatic explosions. You lose it in sighs, in subtle silences, in eyes that look past you instead of into you. You lose it when people stop expecting better from you, because they've already adapted to the version of you that consistently disappoints, deflects, disrespects. But here's the grace in all of this. Respect can be rebuilt. It doesn't come from grand gestures or fake humility. It comes from the brutal honesty of self-inventory, from looking at yourself, not through the lens of who you intend to be, but who you actually are in the moments that matter. Are you dependable, accountable? Do you make space for others? Do you protect their boundaries? Do you tell the truth, even when it costs you? The answers to those questions will echo in how people respond to you, not just with words, but with energy, with posture, with how closely they allow you into their world. So stop chasing admiration. Stop chasing approval. Start earning respect, brick by brick, promise by promise, truth by truth. Not because you want people to applaud you, but because being respectable is a foundation no storm can shake. At the end of the day, your legacy won't be what you claimed about yourself. It will be the quiet, collective verdict of the people who had to live with you, who worked with you, who loved you, who trusted you, and either watched that trust flourish or watched it rot. Let that truth humble you. Let it sober you, but most of all, let it transform you. Because respect isn't given by others, it's drawn out of them by the unwavering posture of someone who lives with integrity, listens with patience, and walks through the world not with noise, but with honor. And when you walk with honor, people don't just notice, they follow.